morning. Well, good afternoon. Hey, Laura, Ian, and Julie's here. Tanya's here. And yeah, Fairy Dragon and Sistash. You're probably just listening, and Laura's just listening because she's writing something, I think. So she's multitasking. She's going to listen to us talk such intelligent conversations that she might even, something we say you could even write about, Laura. I wouldn't. So how are you, Enzo? How's your week been? Since yesterday.
Yeah, since all the way 24 hours ago. A lot has happened. No, it hasn't.
No. Hey, Northside Hawk. Still cold down there? Is it? It's nice here. The sun's out. It's probably about 22 or something. I think so. Oh, it's 18, and it says it's windy, but it certainly feels nicer than that outside. But it was windy last night. I thought my house was going to blow away, but it didn't, luckily. Do you know the only thing that scares me, Enzo, is wind? So I couldn't live, say, where you are and know that there could be a tornado.
Tornadoes.
Just even the sound of wind really, I don't like it. It scares me more than anything. I can handle a thunderstorm and heavy rain, but the minute there's whistling wind and you're starting to feel things,
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I keep thinking, I don't want my roof to blow off. I'll get wet.
Yeah, we get a lot of wind here just on a regular basis, not to mention tornadoes, but there's been plenty of times where the wind is hitting broadside, like in the summer, this time of year, the wind is predominantly out of the south, and my end of the building is all on the whole south end, so I get the brunt of it. So, but it sounds, those really heavy windstorms, it sounds like I'm on an old wooden ship. You can hear the whole house creaking, and it's like, what's happening?
Hello, Lisa. Hi, Dr. Deb. I like that. Dr. Deb. Cheryl, hello. Yeah, wind scares me too. I meant that one. There you go. Yeah, so I haven't put a video out this week. I've been too hey, Foxfire. Oh, why can't you type again? That's weird. Erwin, hello. Yeah, but I'm starting this week. I'm feeling a little bit more, I'm feeling a little less, what's the word? I haven't been inspired. There was no inspiration. I felt flat.
You're down in the doldrums.
I was a little bit, and I thought, and when I would sit down to start thinking about what would I like to research and what would I like to put out there for everybody, I've got all my little Mackie Mansion tidbits, but it's not really about the Mackie Mansion. I thought I'd just put a little info out there on Mr. Mackie and, bits and bobs like that, historical type things. But then I couldn't even get motivated to do that. And I thought, I don't know. So I got out of the house after yesterday. I got out of the house. I went in the garden. I still don't know. Anybody got any ideas? Yeah, Giselle, any ideas? What would you like me to research and have a look for you guys? Have a think and let me know. I was going to do, I've still got the urban legend thing I want to do. But like I say, I just lost all oomph. I mean, especially after the black-eyed children one, because that's a load of crap. And then I thought,
friends of mine did a series on black-eyed children a few weeks ago themselves, except they expanded it to black-eyed adults as well, going through history, which that you start going into like demonic realm stuff when you start.
Yeah, I just thought to myself,
and then they converted into Men in Black, and that's when they brought me in. I was on a show with them last week.
Yeah, I saw that. I did tune in and did watch because I sent you a message, I think, and you said I'm busy. I'm like
busy. I'm on a live.
Busy. Just Jason, keto, and more. Hey, Jason, I've lost 13 kilograms.
I think I found it. After my
lunch. I think I've been getting that from all my friends saying, oh, well, it's left you and it's come over to me. So there you go. And someone else popped. Dee, hello, Dee. Someone else popped in. Who did I miss? Oh, no, Giselle's there.
Wait a
I said,
minute. You cheated though. You're having stuff surgically removed from your body. That's cheating.
oh, yeah, well, I'd be in trouble if I had a 13-kilo tumor.
Ooh.
Oh, cops. Uh, uh, Jonathan, hello there. Hello there indeed. The man who knows to say vehicle for me when I watch him. He's a good stick. Yeah, so if you can think of anything you want me to look into, because you guys have probably been watching other people's content, you've probably been watching some places, and is there anything that you've watched and wondered in regard to the location or what the history of a place is? Is there anything you've watched and thought, oh, serious? Because I'm happy to look into it. Um, the origins of the Slender Man. The Boogeyman. All right, I could look into that because that's not an old one either, is it?
Here, you'll
I'm
this will be a win-win for you. Just
Why?
rewatch all of Supernatural, and whatever their monster of the week is, you do a story on that.
Oh, that'd be a win-win. Yeah. Oh, well, that's why I did the Bloody Mary, because I was watching Supernatural and they did the Bloody Mary, and I was sitting there thinking, why do people say that? And then that's why I did the Bloody Mary one, which led me to the being buried alive. That just led me to the being buried alive. That's not an urban thing. It was just like, how did that happen? And so sometimes is what happened. All right, Tanya, we'll get some ideas, see if anyone else has got some ideas, anything that comes up that they'd like me to look into. Absolutely, Ian. I didn't have one yesterday. People just kept doing naughty things in the chat. I didn't. People were doing naughty things. So, yes, nothing at all political, please. And because, yeah, people just get weird, don't they, Enzo? Weird. Weirdos. But there we go. Not that I'm calling any of you weirdos. I just mean, people get weird. What did you do? Well, I know you can't type, so you can't tell me what you did to your arm now. Did you punch somebody? Actually, I rang Virginia City this morning and spoke to my friend Connie that I stay with when I go there. And she said that she had She had a bad dream. She thrashed around in bed. She was dreaming and she dreamt that she'd hit something or whatever. And then she got up, she went to the bathroom, she came back, she got back into bed and the covers were wet. And she thought, what if I, and she turned the light on. When she'd thrashed around, she had cut her finger wide open, like deep, on something sharp on the side of I don't know what, and 10 stitches. 10
She
stitches.
wasn't dreaming about Freddy Krueger, was she? It may not
I
have
don't
been.
know.
It
I
have
don't
been
know.
cut from
Hey,
something else.
Jonathan.
I had a weird dream myself last night. It was like woke up with a start, just super weird. One of those dreams, they don't make sense. It's even trying to describe it, it doesn't even make sense, but you're just everything's confusing and weird.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've got to have our dreams. Some people say, oh, I never dreamed. They must. They just don't remember. Because I wake up like, I'm pretty sure I dreamt last night, but I can't remember any of them. And sometimes I wake up and think, oh, I didn't have any good dreams. And other times like that, I have a dream that disturbs me for the rest of the day. And I think, what was that about? So it's
I usually
interesting.
never remember my dreams. It's I used to have like a repetitive, recurring dream, is what they say, where I could fly, but it was like really crappy flying. I could only move at like a walking speed, and I was
Maybe you
embarrassed to
were
use my superpower, even
superpower.
though that would still be freaking amazing. But I was embarrassed by it, so I would never do it.
I used to have. I don't know if I've ever told this before. Um, uh, I uh, I used to have. I was pregnant with my first child, and for whatever reason, I don't know if your brain adds to it, if it's imagination. I don't know how dreams grow, but it was a reoccurring dream. So the first dream I had of this reoccurring, like it was like an episode. It was I was being I was the first one was I was in this big old English mansion thing, and being seeing people raise glasses in celebration that somebody was engaged, right? And I'm like, oh, and then I was being ushered out, like, you need to leave, you need to leave. And that happened a couple of nights in a row, but then it gradually got to the point where I was in a little car and I could see my hands in gloves. It was an old car, like a 1920s type car. And it reoccurred. It lasted, this reoccurring dream went on for about 3 weeks while I was pregnant. With the final one was I knew I was very, very upset in the car, and I had to go over out of the estate over a little tiny bridge to keep going, but I missed the bridge and I went into the water and I was drowning, and I woke up and my husband said, you bloody choking. That was horrible. And then that disturbed me forever, and so much so that I still remember it. And I thought, so that's why I thought, oh, maybe I've seen a really good movie or something, but it was just really weird. So it was basically, I'm assuming in the dream, whoever it was, like, it felt it was me, but it wasn't me. So I'm assuming whoever it was maybe that it came across as in love with somebody. He's getting married to someone else. She's told to leave, and she's so upset she drowns. And I'm like, oh, well, if it was a previous life, I must have had money to have my own car.
Not exactly a dream thing, but my brother-in-law was telling me a story of when he was in college. They would always take road trips to follow he went to the University of Kentucky, and he would always follow the basketball team around to different places to go watch them play, him and a couple of his friends. And they'd rent a cheap hotel room. They would have like two beds, but there were three of them. So one guy would always sleep on the floor between two beds. And they went to the game. They had a great time. They go to the hotel. They go to sleep, and he was in his bed. There was the other guy in the other bed. They both wake up at like 3 a.m, just in a start. And they look over and see the other person's awake. It's like, did you just have what's going on? And they look down at the third guy, and he's not breathing.
Oh,
and they're like, oh my God. And they're like, stir him awake. He's like, dude, you all right? Come on. And he's like, what? It's like, you weren't breathing. He's like, I was dreaming that I was swimming underwater. So I was holding my breath. And when a bunch of people are all in the same room, you kind of get on that same rhythm of breathing in and out.
yeah.
And when he held his breath in his dream, he was holding it in real life. So the other two of the other beds were just like, I stopped breathing. What happened?
Or he suffers from sleep apnea. And the reason he was dreaming he was holding his breath underwater is because he wasn't breathing. And his friends, somehow, something, has tapped them both on the shoulder and said, quick, he's not breathing. I bet you he had sleep apnea. There
No,
you
this
go.
was in the early 80s. That was before sleep apnea was a thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, dear. Yeah, sometimes we do. Well, that dream I had, Ian, was over 37 years ago. I've never had anything like that since, except for all the nice dreams I have where I'm having coffee with, Keanu Reeves and stuff. I don't know. I don't know why it can be Tom Cruise, whom I don't like. It can be like one time I had a dream Tom Cruise was telling me that I'm the only one he'll give rides to in his helicopter. I'm like, what is I don't even want to go in a helicopter with Tom Cruise. Mind you, who knows? He's supposed to be quite charming in person.
It's Tom Cruise. He's liable to jump out of it mid-flight.
Yeah, and then I'd be left to land the bloody thing. Erwin, how are you going? Oh, back from the pub.
Oh, don't make you a bad person.
There you go. Diddly dee potatoes. I can't even sound like a diddly dee. I can't do. I wonder if when I go to England, because when I hang around my Scottish friend, which I haven't for a long time, but I can spend the afternoon with my Scottish friend, and by the time I would get home, every little inflection, because she's got a strong Scottish accent, every little inflection would be, a bit Scottish, and my kids would go, "Oh, she's speaking Scottish," and because that would mean they could be in trouble.
Oh, wow.
It was funny. So it would be interesting because I thought it might happen in America, but didn't. My accent was fine. But it'd be interesting to see what happens when I go to England and see. I like my accent. It's just weird. Sometimes I can pick up different inflections on things.
Do you find
Um,
that after you've been there for a few weeks, you start acclimatizing yourself to it? To start.
what happened when I came home from America last time, because I was there for like a month. I came home and so getting on the plane in LA was okay. I could, the American people can get on the plane, and then it was Qantas, so it was the Australian girls. But getting off and coming home, like walking through the airport, and all I heard was Australian accents. It felt
Weird.
weird. It was like, oh, people are talking funny. And like that's what it felt like. And then I went, oh no, they're talking like me. I'm home. But it was really weird. It took a bit of adjustment. Both times actually that I came, it happened. When I came home, it was like people are talking funny. What's Dr. Deb say? I worked a lot with Gestalt theory. Part of it is with regard to dreams. Everything and person in a dream is us, a reflection of a part of us, and you can extract its meaning by to be continued.
Hey, bye.
Bye. Jeez, Dr. Deb. Oh, here we go.
Oh, thank God.
Role playing as a personal object and see what comes out. And if we recall all of our dreams, it's like a squirrel's tail poking through a hole. Put it in and you get the rest of it. That sounds weird. A squirrel poking its tail. Well, at least, yeah. Now,
See,
where's
now,
Ian? Hang on.
anytime I say something now, Dr. Deb's psychoanalyzing us. Everything that we
Yeah.
say and do now.
My dream involved the entire universe being contained in a paw on George Michael's chest. Mind blowing, really, made me think.
Wow.
George Michael. That's different. What's Tanya got to say? We have an Irish guy at work. He has been in New Zealand for over 10 years, and for most part, I can understand what he says unless he's excited and talks really fast. That's like Scottish people too. My Scottish friend, I understand her, no worries. But when her family comes out from Scotland to visit, and they're at her house, they've learned her sister and her husband have learnt to slow their speech down, but they brought their son last time and he was only 21 or something like that, and he's a Scottish accent, really heavy, and I'm like, no. I said slow down a little bit, and he's like, huh? And I said talk a bit slower, and then he said it again, and I understood it. So it is funny. It's funny. Let's have a look. Yeah, I find dreams fascinating and sometimes scary. Oh, I was watching something the other day. Now I can't remember. Maybe you can tell me, Enzo, because I have a vague memory, not a vivid one. Remember when the shuttle Challenger blew up? Yeah.
Yes.
I was watching something. I can't remember what now, but I was watching something that said certain people in America were getting phone calls, funny things happening, like static and stuff, like funny things were happening at the time that blew up. And I thought I had an experience, but I just can't remember what time. I can't remember, but I remember getting up for me at night time. It was dark. The phone rang, and I lived on the Air Force base. We lived on it was when I was married to the boy's dad, and we lived on the Air Force base. And I got up as a fright because if your phone rings and wakes you up, it's like, oh God, what's happening? And I picked up the telephone, and it was this loud shh, shh, and I went, oh, and I hung it up and I went back to bed. And I remember saying to my husband, he said, who is it? Is everything all right? And I said, yeah. I said, but something's not right. And I told him what happened. I said, oh, I just feel like something bad's going to happen. And boom, when we woke up and were watching the news, but I can't really remember times and stuff, but that was spooky. And the only reason I brought it back to mind was because of this thing I was watching on YouTube that was talking about odd things that happened when the Challenger blew up. I reckon it must have just sort of, but it was within our atmosphere. It wasn't even out of the atmosphere yet, because I thought, oh, could it have affected one of the satellites, or I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you, Tanya. I'll play this for Tanya, and then we'll
And
talk.
look who got it.
Who got it? Who got it?
Dr. Deb.
Oh, there you go, Dr. Deb. Dear, what's Dr. Deb saying? Hang on, I'll go back up because Dr. Deb's said something somewhere. Where are you, Dr. Deb? Oh no, that's the role playing. Got there. Erwin, what's Erwin saying? I remember my ex recorded me talking in my sleep and I was giving instructions on submarines. And you've probably never been in one. Squirrels look so cute, but I suppose they, any people like our kangaroos. Oh, squirrels are cute. They're super cute. I chased so many squirrels when I was in America. I'd go, squirrel, there's a squirrel. And I'd go, come here. And I'd get food and say, come on. And then the stupid thing would run up a tree and I'd like, ugh. And I'd just leave the food there and stand back and it'd look at me, look at the food, look at me, race down there so fast and he'd get the food and run away.
They're so fast the way that they can zip up and down a tree and leap from limb to limb and stuff. It's pretty wild. Just sitting there watching them.
Oh my God, look at this, everybody. That's
out of ice cream? What kind of savagery place are you living in? You don't have ice cream on hand.
Oh, no. Well, the emergency will have to wait. I brought 2 boxes of ice creams yesterday. How can they all be gone? Children. Yeah, squirrels are cute. Oh, hello, Earl. That's what I'm saying. What are you saying? Well, it means one of the other sisters ate everything. It was really weird.
Some ice cream for myself the other day, actually. There was some, a Haagen-Dazs was on sale at my local grocery store, and I picked up a couple of the little pint containers.
Ice cream's nice sometimes. Were you talking in a Russian accent at all, Erwin? If you get a squirrel when it's a baby, they make great pets. My husband had one when he was a kid. I think anything can make a great pet if you raise it from a baby. Speaking of babies, unfortunately, none of the little baby rats lived. They all passed. Oh. But at least they were just too young, I think. But at least I didn't throw them in the bin and let them pass like horrible. They were getting cuddles and, they were. I'd have them out and Sonny would be cuddling them and we'd be patting them and giving them milk. But never mind, they were just too little. That was sad. But anyway, check your phone, Mum. Hurry. No, I'm not.
The entire show.
Oh, I'll just check my phone, everybody.
Stop everything. Stop.
Oh, I'll show you what I've stopped everything for. I don't know. Hang on, I'll see.
What? Ooh. Okay. Cat?
That's a cat. She's just told me check my phone because, look, there's a cat out on the fence. It's not ours. There you go. Emergency, guys.
Oh, no, the next update.
Oh, no. He jumped and hit your window. He wants to. It's not our cat.
Some people don't like their picture taken. It's
I don't know.
That's a catastrophe.
It is a catastrophe. Well, you better go and check on him then, Sonny. Make sure he's all right. He wants in. Well, he can't come in. He's not our cat, and he's not fixed, and he's...
Tell him you don't have ice cream. He'll go away.
Yeah, he can't come in. I feel sorry for him. I brought you biscuits to give to him in a little bowl out the front as a nice thing. You should do that. And then he'll be happy. He can just sit out the front. I don't mind if he sits out the front on one of our swing chairs, but he's not coming in. Yes, go rescue him. Check he's okay. I'm sure he is. He is a nice cat, but a jack cat. Yeah. He's a like I say, he's a stray. So here in Australia, I don't think it's the same in America. I'm not sure, but here, if you have a cat, it's supposed to stay on your property. Which good luck if you allow your cat out. It's not going to. It's not a dog. Right, so you're supposed to therefore contain the animal within your property. Um, so we've got a cat run, and the cats are in the house, like they're not allowed outside. But a lot of people don't care about the rules, and they just let their cats wander willy nilly. And he's a lovely little cat, but he's not fixed, so he can go around and make babies with other people's not fixed cats. And I don't need. I think Sonny's going to turn into a cat lady. I can't have it. So I don't know. But I figure if he's coming up here to visit, he just wants to get in to see the other cats. I understand that. But he's also a boy cat. So there's probably, my cats are all fixed,
Oh,
but my cats are all fixed. I'm a responsible cat and dog owner. But yeah. That's why I did buy him some little biscuits, and I said to her, just put a little bowl out for him, and at least when he comes, in case he's not getting fed by anybody on a regular basis, he's got some food. But there you go. A giant squid? What? Oh, I missed it. Hang on. I was convinced I was a fisherman in a former life, or maybe a giant squid. Earl's got 8 cats. Well,
8.
8. We've got 4, and that is more than enough. More
8.
than
Are they
enough.
all indoor cats, or do they just run around outside?
Yeah. Are they indoor cats, Earl? I know Crow of Judas, he's got, I don't know how many cats. I don't think he lets his out. Oh, he could. I don't know. See, I don't know what the rules are in America, but here, because of wildlife and all that sort of thing, and because it gets to a point where you go to a shelter and there's just cats everywhere.
Right.
It's if you want a pet cat, you need to be responsible. Get it fixed up so it can't make babies, and keep it inside because of the wildlife. Because they're little, they're little killers, cute as they are.
Yep.
But yeah.
It says 7 indoor, 1 outside. Wow.
Oh, here we are. Another update. Bum, 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 bum. When I got out there, he ran and climbed up the fence. Wish I knew he could do that before I went out to rescue him.
Sunny Sock, if you're going to be part of the show, you should at least be on camera.
Yeah. Oh, she won't come on camera. She'll go, Crow has a big heart, can't say no to a little kitty. No, and I keep telling him he should do, he keeps saying, content. Um, and I sometimes he says he gets flat and he can't think of things to do. And I've told him in the past to set up in a corner somewhere a little camera and call it Pussy Cam, and people can tune in live to watch the Pussy Cam. And it gets certain people to click, and then they go, cats. People watch the oddest things. Like I watch raccoons. There's a guy who's got a channel, Wildlife something. I can't remember the last name of it now. And he'll often have a static cam set up, and I see the raccoons coming to eat. It's outside of his house. He's got the thingos, and I'll go, oh, and I can sit there and watch that for a good 5 or 10 minutes and be highly amused by raccoons eating, using their little hands. Very
I
cute.
don't know if he still does it, but Tim Pool used to have, because he has chickens, he lives out in the country, and he had a live cam out there in the chicken pen, and he had it set up where it would accept super chats. If somebody donated $100 super chat, disco lights come on and music starts playing.
That's one of our cats. Sunny Sock is in the room. Say hello, Sunny Sock. No one can see you.
I'm not stupid.
No one can see you. Unless
I
you
know.
Oh, okay. All right. Here, let me introduce Lola. This is Lola.
Lola.
I don't know if you can
Hello, LA Lola.
Oh, she didn't want to say hello to
Hey. Oh,
Puppy and Lola.
missed it.
There we go. Puppy wants to say hello to Lola, but yeah, she just gets carried around like a rag doll. Do you see that? And there we go. Yeah, there you go. What's Ian say? My cats are efficient at taking care of spiders if they dare come down from the sea. Yeah, cats like spiders. We've got little skink, the little lizards. I think you get them in
Lizards,
America.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
the
got them.
tiny ones, the ones that if you grab them, their tail falls off.
Yep, we got them.
That's when I go, no, and I run and rescue. Don't chew the lizard. Oh, and frogs. Oh my God! At one point, they were bringing in frogs. So I can't help the frogs if they're going to go into the enclosure area. I can't help the frogs, but that was distressing. Ooh. I remember once I had a black cat called Rastus, and he brought home a toad. And he jumped through because I had the window open. This is before I realised, cats should really be kept inside. This is going back to the early 80s. And I could hear like a funny noise, and I thought, have you got a squeaky toy? No, we had a toad, this massive toad. So every time he bit down, the poor toad. And I'm like, no. And I chased him, but he got back out the window and ran away. And all I could hear was this toad. And I'm like, oh. And he brought home, Rastus also brought me home. I thought he'd come in again with another lizard or something. It was a snake. He brought me home a copperhead snake. I'm like, oh my God. It's amazing.
Those are poisonous, right? I assume they're the same copperhead we have in the States. Yeah.
Erwin says, I remember a wild cat out in the field years ago and I named it 70s Bush because. Okay. Hey, Steph. Oh, dear. We're talking about pussy. Oh, dear. What's Lisa say? My cat gets so upset when she doesn't have ants in the house to eat. Oh, that's interesting. I suppose because they move quick and they want to play with them, but eats the ants.
I prefer.
I had a friend that had a couple of cats, and one of them never cared about any bug in the house, but the other one would lose its mind if there was a fly. It would actually bat it out of the air as it was flying by and just pounce on it and go crazy.
Yeah, cats.
Yeah, Lola does that.
Oh, Lola does that, we're told. She's still standing. Here, give me the cat again. I'll just show anyone who's just come in. There's Lola. That's the youngest of the putty cats.
She is pretty.
She is different, isn't she? Oh, sorry. I'm just showing you her feet. Look.
Jeez.
Look at
You're scaring her.
Oh, I'm not scaring.
Horrified.
Oh, I'm not scaring.
Now you're stressing her out.
Oh,
You're just too much. You're just too much.
You see what happens when you don't have ice cream in the house?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I'm lying. You think I'm lying? Oh, no, I don't think you're lying. It was just like I didn't want to say it out loud, Erwin. Oh dear. Oh, you should go and get Childcat or Yuki. I'll show him.
I'll get Yuki.
Get Yuki.
Childcat wouldn't want you.
All right. We'll do a cat parade for everybody. Yeah, but there you go. Oh dear, pussycats. Yeah,
I'm allergic to them. Sorry.
Oh, are you?
I'm allergic to cats and dogs. To be honest, if I wasn't, I would have a house full of dogs. I think dogs are great.
Dogs are cute. Except for if they don't do as they're told and pee on your pot plants. Yeah, naughty boy. My Rottweiler, good as gold. Boom, outside, never, won't do a thing. Cries if the door's shut, like ooh, she tells you. But I don't know what the Chihuahua's problem is. Oh, here we go. Here's my baby.
I think she has dirt on her.
Have you got dirt on you?
Oh, what?
This is my baby. This is Yuki.
Right. Oh, on command speaking. That's great.
Yeah. Say hello, Yuki.
Guys. Hello.
Say
She's
hello.
a whiner.
She cries a lot, but she loves a cuddle. There you go. There you go. Say hi, everybody.
Do you allow your cats outside, or are they all inside?
No,
cats?
They have an outside
They've
area.
got an outside area, but it's a proper cat enclosure. They can't escape.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're allowed outside in their area, so it's full. It's a proper cat enclosure, with cat stuff, and so yeah, so they're happy. They've got an area they can go outside and climb on things and sit in the sun, but they can't get out and kill a bird or anything like that. Yeah, she's a little raggy doll. She's a rag doll. She does talk a lot. That's the thing about the rag dolls; they do.
She doesn't shut up.
She does.
She just whines and whines and whines.
There you go. What's that, Dee? Oh, Alvin's a good name for a cat, though. Oh. What's Erwin saying? I'm more a dog person. I have 2 Doberman called Bonnie and Fonzie and a Labrador cross called Lexi. Oh, Fonzie's a good name. Yeah, I've got a Rottweiler, Erwin. I
And
think,
him.
and a Chihuahua. What kind of cats does she breed, Dee? Ragdolls. Well, that's what our cat's name is, Yuki, because it's Japanese for snow. Yeah, that's weird, Lisa. Isn't that weird?
I know, it's very common.
Oh, is it common for a cat?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like naming your cat Snow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right then. Rawside Paranormal Laura is putting together a digital magazine. That's what you're going to do, isn't it, Laura? That's what you want to do. She's going to pop something together, and so she's asking different people to write little articles for it. Do you write articles, Enzo?
No.
Oh.
I barely read articles.
Oh, she's not happy.
Wow, she is really vocal. That's funny.
Here, give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, my
But does she snore?
No. She's a quiet little cat, aren't you?
Yeah, quiet.
Yeah. Oh. Hi, Jody. Go pop her back out.
Should I bring another?
Oh, yeah, feel free. The cat parade. There's only 2 more left to see. What's I saying? Yeah, so I'll think of something to write an article on or something for the digital magazine. It's a good idea, Laura. Why not? Taylor. Taylor and I are going to talk. I'll try and talk to her this week. Taylor was going to help me put together something to talk about Virginia City again, about the different things like a little virtual tour of Virginia City. So we'll figure out how to do that. And yeah. Oh, hang on. Here's another cat. Who have we got? Child cat.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another rag dolly. Here, come here, Baba. Oh, he's a big boy.
You can barely see him.
Oh, he's a big boy. Oh, puppy, go away.
Solid black.
Here, look. Oh. There he is. And his big fluffy tail. Oh, he's a good boy. There you go.
Good is a strong word.
Ah.
Well, I love him. I love him.
I love him too, but you can only wake up and piss so many times.
He's peed on the end of Bella's bed a few times.
While I'm in it, sleeping.
So I took him to the vet because I thought, is there something wrong with him? And they, don't fall for it either, guys. There's things they advertise, those pheromone things that you plug in. And I got one for the dog because he was peeing on my pot plants. I'm like, oh, so I plugged in this pheromone thing that's supposed to whatever. But I don't think he's stressed. That's not why he's peeing on my pot plants. He's doing it because he's an asshole. And I'm like, oh. So I plugged in one of these pheromone things. It did nothing. And we got one for the cat as well, because we thought, well, maybe he's stressed, but it did nothing. So I don't know what to do about a cat that decides, he uses his kitty litter, he does everything right, and then every now and then he pees on something he shouldn't. I'm like, you bloody cat. He's fixed and everything. All of my cats are
My last girlfriend had a cat that would do the similar thing where it was a great cat, but if I ever spent the night at the house, it would intentionally poop somewhere on the stairs or something like that, like right out in the open.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
I reckon that's what might be wrong with this little fella, because he's very
But no one comes over.
no, not that, but I think he gets upset easy, and like I think he needs some nerve pills. I think he needs.
No, I think that he needs to go somewhere where the other cats don't hate him
well,
and beat him up.
well, he can live in my bedroom then.
No, he can't.
He's not going anywhere. What's that? My cat monster likes to piss on plastic. Giselle said she was about to tell the same story, Enzo, that they like retribution. I did have a dog that would do that, a Chihuahua, actually, Ricky, the Chihuahua. And if anyone stayed over, because when I was younger, it's not like I'd have my boyfriend stay over and still let the Chihuahua sleep in the bed. So the Chihuahua would be put in the lounge room in his basket. And when I'd wake up in the morning, poop. That was a very long time ago.
It is really warm in here.
It is. Hey, Giuseppe. Oh, this is the last cat. This is Priscilla. She's just a moggy, but she's cute too.
What?
Wow, look at those eyes.
Cat. Oh, did you see that?
Puppy.
Yeah.
All right, well, you better take her. She was being evil.
She's not evil.
There you go.
She's so kind.
They're all pretty good cats. They all like a bit of a cuddle, and they're funny to watch when they play. I must admit, they're funny to watch. I was trying to watch something with the girls yesterday. There was a new cartoon. What's the show called again?
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia, a Japanese cartoon or anime. And Sonny started to play, but then in the off to the corner, the cats started to do funny things, and I've gone, oh, and this one's, Mum, watch it. But yeah. Cats, yeah, I know, they're so cute. Giuseppe's got Ludwig and Maximilian. Gosh. Turtles. I have turtles. They don't snuggle, but I swear they have. Oh, they do. I like turtles. I like them. Bandits. What? Oh, you cats. I was going to say, what's up? I'm thinking bandicoot. It's all right. We have all sorts of funny animals here. So, Enzo, did you have anything to show people today? Do I need to play your intro?
Yep, we'll have to play the intro. Got a couple. I have several things. Just tell me how long you want me to talk, or tell me when to shut up. I can certainly
all
talk
right.
a little bit.
So I'll hand over to.
Who's that man in the fancy shirt? Who's the man with the cheeky smirk? Who has the answers? Who can explain? Well, it's Enzo the science guy. Enzo the science guy. Ask him how, ask him why. Enzo the science guy. He's Enzo the science guy.
Hello.
Right. So what have we got, Enzo?
Well, pull up the share there that I just threw out. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, so I'll just play the video and we'll chat through it. How a daytime meteor was spotted over New York City this past week. Did you hear that audio?
No. But it's all right. You can talk over it.
Well, it's fine. It's basically... I'll mute the video on my end. For some reason that didn't come through. But anyways, this video shows a daytime. Basically, it's classified as a fireball when it's super bright, which it would have to be seen during the daytime. Where basically they think it started somewhere around where the Statue of Liberty is, and kind of went west over New Jersey. Put out kind of a loud boom so that people could hear it, and a couple of security cameras caught it. Some people saw it live with their own eyes, just boom. Which, if you recall last Saturday episode, I did mention that we're rolling into the Perseids meteor shower right now. So that's basically that's a part of it. The guesstimates for something to be that big to be seen during the daylight time would probably be about the size of a basketball to burn up in the atmosphere and then make a big loud bang like that.
So it did burn up then. It didn't crash into anything. It burnt up. That's what we.
I mean, there's like maybe a 2% chance you might find a little teeny piece somewhere in eastern New Jersey, and that's about it.
I saw Halley's Comet.
Oh, back in 1986? Yeah, I saw it too. I was unimpressed.
Yeah, and there was something too that I saw. It was a satellite or something. Before that, it was a big deal, and I just can't remember. Maybe it was a Russian satellite. There was something. I just remember it was a big deal, and everybody went outside to have a look at it, but I can't remember what it was. You could see it, but back then.
For you in Australia, maybe the Mir space station when it finally deorbited back in the 70s, and it did big chunks of it did hit in Australia.
Yeah, they hit in Perth, I think. Yeah, that's the one, and we were all like, "Oh, you could see it." But yeah, Halley's Comet. At least I got, because it's only every 70 years, isn't it? Halley's Comet or something.
75, 76 years that spins around, but since we're talking about comets, that's what causes these kind of regular meteor showers is from comets. As they spin around the sun, they leave these big clouds of debris as they basically they're like it's like a frozen snowball kind of a thing. And as it gets closer to the sun, those frozen parts of it are actually gases and stuff like that, and it all ejects off. That's how you see the big long tails, and it leaves a trail around the solar system, and the Earth spins through it as it orbits around. So we have these kind of regular periodic showers, meteor showers, and coming into a big one where you'll see, I mean, it's not the biggest. There's one that's, I think it's December is like the really, really big one, but this one is a pretty good one where if you're in the northern hemisphere where it's summer, you can kind of sit outside in the lawn chair where it's nice and just watch little sparks flying through the sky. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Skylab, that wasn't it, was it? Or was it?
Skylab was a different one that also came down in the 70s. That was the US version.
It wasn't. It says here 73, 70. It wasn't that one. It was the other one you said, because I was.
The Mir space station. Yeah,
it was. Mir was Russian.
Yes,
the Mir one. Yeah, that's the one I remember watching.
Yeah,
it was
chunks of that one actually hit mainland Australia itself.
Yeah, it did, and that's why, because people knew it was going to hit. That's why it was a big deal. Oh, it's going to come down in Australia somewhere. And everyone's like, oh, so yeah, we got on the news. If you go out tonight, blah blah blah, you'll see it. So
was it West Coast or East Coast of Australia? I remember it was along the coastline somewhere.
West Coast, Perth, around Perth somewhere. I think I could be wrong on where it hit, but I've got like it was. Yeah, luckily it didn't hit. From memory, it didn't hit anywhere.
You're showing your age if you're pulling up Skylab facts. It's
yeah, Skylab. I don't recall. Probably because I wasn't interested. I would have only been about 13 at the time, but yeah. So I don't remember Sky. I remember the man on the moon. If they say you land, someone said, the Wire Files. I was watching the Wire Files, and I'm going, oh God, come on! Like they could have possibly done something to fake something. I don't know, but the flags are on the freaking moon. So are bits and bobs. How did that get out there? Magic trick. Like,
let's pull up our next share here, and we'll talk about that very thing, because as it turns out,
yes,
tonight's full moon, the buck moon, which gets its name from at this time of year is when bucks, a male deer, get their full antler size by this time of the year. So this is the buck moon, and it happens to coincide today with the landing of the first man on the moon from Apollo 11.
Was it? Oh.
50, was it? Yeah, 1969. 55th anniversary is today.
Wow. How many years?
55th anniversary.
55 years ago, I was sent home from school to watch the man land on the moon. Maybe we didn't even go to that. Maybe we didn't go to school that day. I just remember it was such a huge, monumental thing. It was on the television, and I know my grandmother and grandpa. I think a lot of people didn't even go to work. I wonder what day it was, because I can remember my grandpa we were all watching it. The whole family was in the lounge room watching the moon landing.
People across the globe were watching. Actually, I don't remember if it's this article that actually mentioned, but how many millions of people watched it live? 4:17 p.m. Eastern time when they landed. No, I don't see it this article. I have a different article that I was going to use, but where it actually listed the number.
I'll just Tanya's done it again. Thank you, Tanya.
Oh!
And yes, so I'll quickly play. Let me see. I can't play
This
the
time?
Raining Men thing because I get struck. So we haven't seen this one for a while.
I like the little block robot guy dancing. I love that. And space pizza, way better than that inner Earth pizza. Way better.
Yes, the inner Earth pizza, the lizard people. Oh dear. Thank you, Tanya.
But yeah, 55 years ago today, Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon. First human on the moon.
I like all the talk about the moon, and when they say the dark side of the moon, it's not dark, it's as light as that. It's just that that's the side we don't see. Yeah.
The moon is in a what's referred to as it's geolocked with the Earth, so that the same side it still rotates. It rotates just like this, but it's at the same rate that it orbits around the Earth, so that we only see the one side. If you see, I'd have to go find a version, but a time lapse of the moon, you can see it does wibble wobble a little bit, but that's why we only see the one side.
Miss Betty's here, and Julia. There you go. Yeah. So what's next?
55 years ago today, we landed, and just this past week, I made a discovery on the moon where of this odd-looking kind of sinkhole cave in the surface of the moon, which is perfect for setting up a long-term base on the moon. Because one of the biggest problems with going to the moon and staying there is dealing with temperature and radiation, which just staying out on the surface. I mean, like, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, when they went 55 years ago, they were only there for not even a full day, like about a day. Went out, did a few things, took some rock samples, and bugged out. they did not see there. Did you see the photo holder that we're actually going to talk about that next? Hang on, D.
Okay.
But,
well,
this particular.
How can they tell how deep it is, though? It might just be.
Well, they have this particular one. It's about 250 miles from the the Apollo 11 landing site, and it's 130 feet or 40 meters wide and tens of yards long. I don't know why they crapped out on the tens of yards long in this article, but there's been theories of cave-like things like this, and this is perfect because, as we've talked about before, radiation is a big deal. If you recall a few weeks ago when we talked about radiation from that big blast that we saw on Mars, where it was like, what was it, 20 some chest x-rays. But just since there's no atmosphere on the moon at all, there's no thermal shedding for temperatures and stuff like that because of no atmosphere. So you're getting direct sunlight, which is like being in a microwave, or darkness, which is the deepest freeze. So much so that the ranges are 127 degrees Celsius during the day and minus 175 or 73 degrees Celsius at night. On the
Jeez.
moon.
Well, you can't. It's like, that's really hot and then really cold. Hey,
Exactly.
Betty.
And that's what space is. Space is out to kill you. You can't let it get in the upper hand. But and then, of course, after that, we've got radiation 150 times what you're used to here at Earth. If you have basically like a cave, you can set up like a little launch pad kind of area over here where the ship lands and takes off for resupply things, and then like a little elevator going down into here, and then assuming that this like extends out a little bit, build your base inside of this cave that blocks all the radiation, that keeps that direct sunlight from just nuking it every single day, kind of a thing.
What
It
about
helps
if
a
they go
lot.
there and realise that there are lizard people living there?
Well, they better make friends fast, because they're going to have to learn how to like those grubs on their pizza, apparently. So
Thank you very much, Jody. That's lovely. And I miss you too, Betty. We'll have to have another girls thing, another girls live stream. Oh, well, actually, Enzo's going away shortly, so we might be able to do that. We might be able to have another girls one. Okay. So what's next, Enzo?
Next, on by special request, we had a comment about this weird looking rock thing that was discovered on Mars. Again, the Curiosity rover that we just talked about, how that it detected all that radiation from a few months ago. During a recent move, they've been finding rocks that have little veins of like pure sulfur in it.
Yeah.
And they came across this one area scattered with little rocks. And as it ran over one of them, it looks back, and this rock is pure sulfur. And what I love most about it is exactly how NASA should be. It shouldn't be there. So now we have to explain it. They don't know why.
But are they sure it's sulfur? Like it could just look like sulfur.
I know. It does kind of have like this. It does kind of look like some kind of weird broccoli broccoli and potato conglomeration, doesn't it?
I've got a piece of sulfur. It's very pretty.
Yeah, but they do have a testing kit kind of thing and a little robotic arm that can take samples on that rover, and they did sample it. It is 100% sulfur, and they have no idea why that would be there. Normally, like in a normal like Earth type environment, for sulfur to just pure 100% sulfur, like around a volcanic vent or something like that, which, I mean, granted, the largest volcano in the solar system is on Mars, but this is very far away from it. So where did this come from? How did it come to be there? Oh, hi, Jess.
Hi, Jessica.
And so it's certainly a mystery exactly, but it was one of those things where they saw the rocks, they weren't sure, and it was in the direction they needed to travel anyway, so they would have had to have run over it. And after they ran over it, they looked back and said, oh, God, it splatted out to look like this. So they were very excited.
It does kind of look like squished, chopped up potato salad with broccoli.
It's somebody's baked potato with like cheese and broccoli on it, and then they just stepped on it.
I think he does get lonely. Is it a boy or a girl rover? What's its name?
It's the Curiosity rover, so it would be ambiguous as far as what it would be, I guess, since it's curious. And it has been up there, I think it's 15 years now.
It's
12
been
years.
there long. It's actually outdone what they thought it would do, isn't it?
Oh, by a long shot. But because, and this is like a high definition view of where it was going, and this is what Mars looks like. And you can even see the shadow
Oh,
down here of the rover down here. But
where's the road? Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
there's the camera, and there's some other component of it. But
Hey there, bad moon.
they take these small pictures and then they stitch them all together. That's why you see these weird jagged lines.
Well, I've watched the Y-Files and I know that they NASA doctors their photos.
Yeah, they were real, especially like the original Viking probes back in the 70s. They put this like orange kind of filter over everything for no reason.
For no reason.
This is what Mars actually looks like. Which, to be honest, it was only like a month ago. I spent time down in Arizona, and it looked a lot like this.
Even when you fly over Arizona, I was astonished at how vast. It's massive. Like you're up in a jet plane, you look down, and the captain, we're flying over Arizona, and you look and you think, geez, it's just like that. There's nothing there, not a tree.
Yeah, this behind me, this is Meteor Crater in Arizona, right behind me. And honestly, you'd be hard pressed to look at that and then turn your head and look at Mars, and it's like, oh, geez,
and
kind of the
same. Yep.
But
Angelina,
why they tinted them orange like that? I can't explain that, or why they would think to do that. But
Tanya. Let's see, what's Jody say? Imagine Mars with water and life while Earth was still a molten mess. Mind blowing. I know. I reckon Mars must have been just like us.
Well, honestly, it really kind of was, because, I mean, you can look at just up here at the top, you can see these sediment layers, these lines, these horizontal lines.
That's water, isn't it? Makes
now,
that, or is
where it's carved off is from like wind and water. So this was a solid block at one point, and then water ran through here, and we can see, over here. This was kind of like this gully area. It's you can see little bits of sand in there, because they do have monstrous sandstorms on Mars, sometimes encompassing the entire planet for almost a year that we've been observing it. So that's what a lot of what you see in here is. But that means, this is a low area, which geologically, if you didn't have water, would never exist. So this is all at one point, maybe millions of years ago, all dug out by a stream running right through here.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it? Do you know what song? Did anyone ever watch Blue's Clues with Steve? I did, because I had children. But he had a song he used to sing to name the planets, so you didn't forget. And it's always in my head. When I'm talking about planets, in the back of my head, I can hear, the sun's a hot star, Mercury's hot too, Venus is the brightest planet, Earth's home to me and you, Mars is the red one, Jupiter's most wide, Saturn's got those icy rings, Uranus spins on its side, Neptune's really windy, and what's the next one?
Pluto would be the last one, depending on
Pluto.
when you say.
And Pluto is so small. You wanted to name the planets, so now I've named them all. Except now Pluto's not a planet. It's very
Yep, they downgraded Pluto's status from an outer solar object now, instead of we're gonna grow potato. Yeah, only if you poop on it and put water in.
Do you remember it, Angelina? Like, I remember that. I used to love watching it.
It is lovely, though. I've not seen that.
Yeah, I secretly loved watching Blue's Clues with Blue and his handy dandy notebook. I don't know who enjoyed it, me or my kids. I wouldn't really call it serenading. Probably the cats would sound better singing, but there you go. Yeah, poor Pluto. Poor Pluto. It's not fair.
Pluto was downgraded, which, I mean, I kind of get it, but it's because their reasoning behind that is because Pluto's really tiny and it's very far. I know, just for Pluto. If we're going to consider that a planet, I just remember the Mail song. I don't remember
the Mail song. Isn't that where he just walks through and goes, "We just got a letter," or is that something? It's something like that. I can't remember. I do remember that, and the very start of the show, he would go. Um, there was a little song at this, so you had to have your handy dandy notebook so you could write down all the Blues Clues. All right, Lissa, my very elderly mother just swept up 9 pins. That's how I remembered the planets. Oh, 9 pins. Okay, go ahead, Enzo. Where were we?
Where were we? What were we talking about? But yeah, so Mars has some pretty cool stuff on it still to be
What's that one?
discovered. And as it
Go
turns
down,
out, if you
Enzo.
just run over stuff, you find amazing discoveries.
Because that's the other thing I've noticed about sulfur. Because I do have a piece. It's not in here. It's down in the hallway, but it's crumbly. It's very crumbly.
Right.
So it's very pretty, but it crumbles really easy. So I suppose
Is it green like that is?
No, it's bright yellow. More
Yeah,
like
that's what I was kind of surprised at when they kept touting it was pure sulfur. It's like, all right, maybe it's.
But it could just be dirt mixed in because look, it's run over it, so maybe
It
it had
did
dirt.
run over. It's road. Basically, they've made a scientific discovery from roadkill. Is kind of what this is. Because you can even see.
Thank you so much for sharing it out. Thank you.
You can see the tracks as it ran over right here. But
can you go down a bit on that, Enzo? There was another picture of something. I wondered what it was. Not the next one, but the one after. Yeah, what's that?
In May, Curiosity captured this image of rocks that show pale rings or halos near the edges. They resemble markings seen on Earth when underwater leaks into rocks along fractures, causing chemical reactions that change the color. So this is as water seeps into the rock, it makes these little pores, and you can even see like a little channel going through here as it is even splitting this rock. So again, more evidence. There used to be a lot of water on Mars a long time ago.
That's pretty cool.
And it's possible there still is water, but it's just below the surface. We don't, none of our rovers and probes or anything like that dig down very deep, but the idea is it's the male. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to yell, male.
I don't remember that one. That was that still Steve? Jessica, was that still Steve there? Back to Blue's Clues for a second. When Steve left to go to college, I think it was his cousin came in and took over, and it was never the same. It was never the same. Oh dear. All right, where are we up to?
All right. We'll move on to my last bit, where I watched a YouTube channel. This is That UFO Podcast. Andy there on the left, and John and Jerry Tedesco, brothers, there on the right, where they were interviewing. Andy was interviewing the brothers there. They are engineers, scientists that live around on Long Island, which is the small piece of island that goes off of where New York City is. And he's interviewing them because they basically designed an old RV, recreational vehicle, into a UFO hunting machine.
Ooh.
Where they equipped it with actually like this big dome thing here you see in the front is actually a marine grade radar system like you would see on like medium sized boats out in the ocean, and various other equipment. A lot of they even had a homemade radar system, which oddly enough you can go on YouTube and research and build your own radar system. I looked it up. I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that much of a nerd yet either.
But yeah, however, to say like that particular product I pointed out on the top of the van there, or on top of the RV there, that's like about a $6,000 unit. But anyways, they were doing, basically there were a lot of reports of stuff out over the ocean along Rhode Island of UFOs. And these guys are like hardcore scientists, and they were curious about all of it. It's like, hey, maybe we're only just seeing little bits of it. Let's pool our stuff together. We've got this old RV. We'll just basically go driving along the coast of Long Island and camp out there in the middle of the night, videoing this stuff. And they actually caught quite a bit. They have quite a bit of footage of, and almost all of the stuff that they found where they're fairly resolute about it is in the infrared range. So it's a lot of, basically you can't see it with the naked eye so much. And they got video and pictures. I'm working on it, Todd. I'm working on it. I have the money. It's just a matter of finding something that's not 200 miles away for me to go look at this stage. And as Tanya points out, because she knows her lore, her Enzo lore, where he brings up the stupid van project every week. The reason I was interested in this conversation is I wanted to know what equipment they had, which, as it turns out, they do bring it up quite a bit, so much so that I did buy the book. So I'll be adding some equipment to the van once I get the van. But there's some of that stuff I kind of already have and already had an idea of that's what it would be used for. I just didn't have any practical, use of being able to do it. Yeah. As it turns out, I'm on the right path, apparently, at least following in their footsteps. But they have documentation of large triangular craft miles out over the ocean south of Long Island. They're just skittering around, and sometimes they're there, sometimes they zip away, sometimes they're there for all night long and just sitting in one spot, just hovering there, not doing anything. And if you watch the interview from as a matter of fact, I'll throw this in the chat. I'll throw a link there. That's the link to the show. Andy does a pretty good job over there at the UFO podcast. Check him out. But what they discovered is one particular night, as they're experimenting with different pieces of equipment, what works, what doesn't, and all that, there was one of these kind of triangular things relatively close to the shore. It was the closest one they'd ever seen. And they're like, this is something we haven't seen them do yet. We need to maybe step up our game out there. So this is, and they're super interesting. If you watch that interview, for that link I just threw out there, they are engineers and they use all the engineering lingo. They do not spare the common man any kind of stuff. So it is pretty cool. I can't wait to dive into the book. I just got it yesterday. So it's what they this one craft was like very close to the shore. So as they were saying in the interview, it's like, so we used our IR designator. That's how you know they're engineers. They use the technical name for everything. Basically, it's an infrared laser is really what it is. And they basically painted this thing because they had like handheld IR camera type things that they were using. And they paint the triangle thing with the infrared laser. And I don't recall if they said it moved closer, but they said that they could see through infrared that it was like had a spotlight that went straight down and then it like moved towards the shore. Like it was like pointing and they couldn't see any of this with the naked eye, but it shines like straight down and then it like pivots, like it's shining up towards them. And the one brother was like, I started getting this numbness in my legs and I just couldn't stand up anymore. I had to collapse down onto my knees. I couldn't move my legs. And he's like yelling at his brother. It's like, I can't move. I don't know what's happening. Once this beam or whatever hit him. So his brother comes up to like help him stand up. And then his legs start getting numb and all that. And they ended up, they were like crawling on their hands through the beach, through the sand to get outside of where this spotlight kind of a thing was. And then the feelings started returning to their legs and like, yeah, we're done for the night. We're out. We're done. We're gone. This is
and
too much.
they talk about this in the interview.
Yes, they specifically talk about that in the interview.
Maybe that's how they get the cattle. Because I've always wondered, how do you get a cow to keep really still so you can do those things to it?
Whatever this, and that was the other thing, is the big thing is it's all in infrared, which human beings can't see without some kind of piece of equipment. And that's, I mean, you can't even see the craft. Yes, they did fully recover because they have a third person that works with them. It's not in this one, but yeah, you can buy this book on Amazon. $25 for the paperback, $52 for the hardcover, $5 on Kindle. But I'm unaffiliated. It's just something that I'm in the process of reading myself. But they have a third female person that's helped to design all the gadgetry on the van, and she ran out and they were like, don't get closer, we don't want you to get sucked into whatever this is ourselves. And after they kind of crawled through the sand a distance away to get away outside of where that field was shining on them, they got their feeling back and they got up and they're like, nope, we're done for the night, pack shit up, just throw it in the truck, just throw it in the van, just go. We're getting the hell out of here.
So basically, they found something. It was there, but that with the naked eye you couldn't see it.
Yes.
Oh well, that's even more depressing to me, because that means I could be looking at the sky at night time, hoping to see a UFO, and it could just be hovering right in front of me, and I wouldn't know.
Or flip it, it's extra scary that they're staring at you all the time and you don't know it.
I wonder if I would be scared if I saw it. I don't think so. I'd be astonished if I saw an alien spaceship. I'd actually probably worry more it wasn't an alien, that it was a human. In that would worry me more. I think, oh no, the government.
But,
oh no!
If you're interested in the full story, of course, go check out that UFO podcast. And because Andy he's pretty good interview, and these guys were pretty good. I will admit they do get a little technical in the middle part of it where they're talking about all the tech and stuff, which I loved. That's what I was there for. So,
understand it.
But the way that, if you look here, as I'm pointing on YouTube, is there's like chapters down there. So if they start talking about something, you're like, okay, I don't care so much about some of this stuff. I'll skip it. So, but it's still an interesting story. And they even have this telescope in the background that they allude to. There's actually two. There's another one here behind this guy's head. I have actually a similar telescope and Starfinder and a bunch of other stuff that's already on this machine, this device, sitting in my basement that I don't use. I'm going to be using again, I think, very soon. So for me, this one really rang my bell as far as stuff I can do with the van. I look really forward to checking out the detail in the book about all the gear that they use. So
maybe I should send them a message or something and ask them, do they want to do a live with us? And you can just ask them all the questions you want to. But
let me read the book first, so I know what questions to ask. But they're affiliated with the Galileo project, which is a separate thing dealing with UAPs and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting stuff. And they have a lot of pictures in the book. Nothing I can really like hold up to the camera or anything like that. But it basically it shows their process for how they're doing their work. And they are true blue scientist types, because they documented everything.
It really does mean Mel, doesn't it, Tanya? He's super excited. You can tell.
But Yeah, I threw the link in the chat. If you like to check it out, go ahead. It was something I was very interested in, enough so that I actually spent some of my hard-earned dinero in search of a van. Yes, in search of. Play the theme music. Have AI Leonard Nimoy introduce me. But anyway, I'll let you know how that book turns out once I've gotten through it and all that stuff. But
so is that it? Is it for the presentation this week?
that's it.
Well,
I've bored everyone enough. I feel that certainly coming up with it.
Yeah, but Enzo's
6
in
acres,
America.
little bush. Look at that. Yes, seeing the Milky Way with the naked eye is truly one of the most amazing things you can see as just a person on Earth, because you get so used to living in any kind of city where there's so much light pollution that you just cannot see the sky as our ancestors not even 100 years ago saw. Because just staring at the stars as they pass over at night, you can sort of see the amazement with it, that so many, just hundreds of generations of humanity just looking up at the sky at night and how, mesmerized they were by it.
Angelina, there should be a YouTube. Yeah, there should be a YouTube video on how to use a telescope. I've still got that one, and I forgot to go out and look at anything when it was happening. So I might actually, because it's hard here. If it's cloudy, you can't see, a thing.
Well,
Yeah,
Tanya brings up the important. Yeah, that's the important question. Have you used your telescope to watch your neighbors? Yeah, that's.
No. What's that? I tried that. I need a human to help.
Well,
God.
we live in such a day that they have smart telescopes now where it's just basically an app on like a tablet or your phone where it's like, show me Andromeda Galaxy, blip, and it automatically slews over and points at it. It's like, there you go. And you can take pictures with it. And that's usually like disappointing for people. If you look at another galaxy, it's just like this like blur in the screen or through the eyepiece when you see it. But what happens is how astronomers do these amazing photos is it's called stacking, because you're trying to view this cosmic thing that's hundreds of thousands of light years away through a piece of glass that's only like 5 inches wide at best. And what they do is it's called photo stacking, where it takes a picture, it takes like hundreds of pictures, and then you stack them on top of each other, and that's where those colors come out. Because it's the same thing as if you had a 100-foot wide telescope lens looking at it versus your 5-inch scope or whatever you have.
And there you go. Tanya's got a good idea for you, Enzo.
How to use your telescope for dummies. Actually, there are quite a few websites, or excuse me, YouTube channels out there that do that very thing. I've actually learned quite a bit just from watching those, where just regular people, they go out in the backyard. It's like, hey, this is what we're looking at. We live in wherever it is that they live, and there's quite a few in Europe. There's actually a lot in Italy, oddly enough. But that that's what they do, is their whole website is all about stargazing and what they're looking at tonight, kind of a thing. They're out there.
I get by the end of the afternoon when the sun goes down, and because I'm usually up really early, I am getting up earlier now, so my body must be kicking back into its normal routine before I got sick. But I'm up early, so by the time the sun goes down, I just want to snuggle, and I don't feel like going outside. Summer's beaut here, though. I do go outside in summer here because it gets balmy and you can look up at the sky. It's usually a beautiful, clear sky, and you see lots of things. So I should do that more. I'd love to see something, though. I see shooting stars. You see shooting stars a fair bit. What's that thing you say when you see a shooting star? You've got to say that little poem, I wish I will, I wish I might, or something. I can't remember that, but I can't. When you see a shooting star, make a wish.
Supposed to make a wish, yeah.
You're supposed to make a wish.
You make a wish from the time you see it to the time it stops. Supposedly, your wish will come true. But most of them only last that long, so you gotta be ready. But we're going through a big, in the next couple of weeks, we're going through a big storm, Rabbit. So your chances are high that your wish may come true.
Yeah, we might get to make a few wishes. I saw earlier, Dee, you were talking about learning how to type at school. When I went to secretarial school after I'd finished school. So as an adult, I went to secretarial school and learnt shorthand and typing and all that sort of thing. I can't remember any. I can still type, obviously. I had a typewriter when I was a little kid. My dad made me get one and learn. That was nightmarish. But yeah, I can't remember any of the shorthand now because, of course, back in the day, you had to learn to take shorthand notes and then write up your letters. But yeah, I don't think they do that anymore at school, do they? Certainly wouldn't do shorthand. But yeah, I don't know. What's Blue said? We have 2 telescopes. My late husband would take our son out to look at the northern lights while we were up north. Oh, that'd look all right through a telescope, wouldn't it? Oh, they are. First star tonight. I wish. Yep. Thank you, Dee.
A lot of telescopes you buy nowadays come with a attachment on the eyepiece where you can put your phone on it, so you can actually take pictures and stuff using just your phone, which is very good.
Yeah, that little one I purchased has got that, I think. I can't remember. I'll have to go and get the box. I looked at it and then I thought, what's that?
Even if you just like pointed at the moon and realize, how many like little craters then just you're able to zoom in just a little bit more than your regular naked eye. You're used to just think, oh, yeah, it's the white thing in the sky at night. And to zoom in and see how detailed it is, where you're seeing mountain ranges and giant craters that are bigger than cities, things like that. It's pretty amazing. And even with a smaller telescope or even like a stronger pair of binoculars, with like looking at Jupiter or Saturn. Jupiter, you can see the 4 largest moons around it. They look like little stars.
Really? With a telescope?
Yep. Even with a small telescope, where if you look at it like the next day, you'll see that they've slightly moved because they're orbiting around Jupiter. And Saturn, you can certainly pick out those rings on Saturn as well. It's very, very cool to see that.
Wow.
For the first time.
Yeah. I'll have to do something. I have to look at some stars before I die. Oh gosh, I do want to get out and have a look at the moon. Can you see the flag through a telescope?
You'd need a monstrous telescope in order to see the flag, and there's really isn't one on Earth that you can do it. We do have a satellite, the lunar, what's it called? Actually, it was in one of my earlier stories, that one that showed the cave. The Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter that's been up for a few years, then scanning. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Where they do have pictures of the original landing sites, but it's still like, a straight down view. Give me a second, I'll look for it real fast, and if I find it, I'll pull it up for you.
Okay,
you can see the original landing sites.
There's Tanya. Oh dear.
If you have rings around Uranus, you may need to.
You need some ointment.
Practice some better self-care.
There's creams, better self-care.
As long as there's no Klingons.
Oh, that's correct. I just love that song. Dun, 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 dun. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons.
Wow, that's an oldie.
That's an oldie. Star trekking across the universe. Oh no, I'm going to keep that in my head today. It's one of those songs, isn't it? Oh, oh. Let's see. Is it true that there is a laser point mirror type object on the moon that we can bounce laser beams off? Oh,
Yes, actually, that's left by some of those earlier Apollo missions where they set up this big reflector box and it has multi-angled mirrors on it so that no matter where it is or where on the Earth, you can bounce a laser straight off of it to get. Uh, Basically, the idea behind it was is that's how they would measure moon quakes and get a uh, and a more accurate distance reading from Earth to Moon.
sorry, D. Now D's got it in her head as well. Always going forward, never find reverse. Star trekking. I'll probably get a copyright just for singing it. I don't think so. I think I'm allowed to sing a song, aren't I? Dear. That was a good little song.
This is just something I found real quick. So there may be better pictures, but that share I just put out.
Oh,
This
the
is Apollo
audience.
15, where this is the bottom part of the lunar module because they would land and there's two segments to the lunar module that you would see.
Yeah.
There's like the weird shape, and then there's part with the legs on it. The part where the legs actually would stay, and then the upper part would separate and it would go back up and blah blah blah. But this particular one, you can see the shadow of the flag there, and you can see the tracks for the little buggy that they had that they would run around in, exploring different parts of the moon for the lunar rover that they had. So there's certainly stuff up there, and for people that say that it was all fake and done on a movie set and blah blah blah. The one group that would have loved to have proved that America never went to the moon is the Russians. During that's a classic Cold War kind of a thing where if they could have exposed that the United States never went to the moon and faked all of it, they would have certainly done it because they're sneaky. They were sneaky back then. They're still sneaky today sometimes, but nothing like that ever came because we did actually go to the moon. We did have stuff that we sent people there. We drove little moon buggies around and threw dust around and picked up rocks and stuff like that and brought it back. So we were certainly there.
Oh yeah, no, we were there. It's just they've got to.
But actually, when as I recall, just the history since Apollo 11, that they did say that they were pretty sure that when they blasted off to go back up to the little orbiter and then go back to Earth, that the blast area did kind of knock down that first American flag from Apollo 11. It kind of knocked it over. But geez, we'll have to do better next time. But there's probably not much left of the flag after all this time, just from being bathed with solar radiation, raw stuff stripped from the sun. There's probably not much actual fabric left. There's probably the little hook hanger thing that came off at a 90-degree angle and stuff like that. That's probably still there just fine.
There you go. You're impressive, Enzo. If you don't come back, Dr. Deb, thanks for joining us. But I think she's just in the background listening. She's just listening. Oh. Yeah, she was here. She's just got to go do something. Yeah, so there you go. Because, of course, it's getting later there in the Americas.
Yep, about it's 9:05 my time, Central Time. So
Central, so it'd be 10, 11 on the East Coast.
10 o'clock East Coast time. So,
so there you go. It gets late. But I think this is a pretty good time. It's sort of central for everybody. And we're just talking about random stuff anyway. So it's all good. At 10 p.m., Angelina, bad to the bone, Angelina is on Rhode Island, aren't you? Is that where you are, Rhode Island? I'm pretty sure. Or, well, somewhere near there. I'd like to go to that. Is it Rhode Island that has the big house, Angelina, the one that's supposed to be haunted. Everything's supposed to be haunted, but there you go. I was watching a video. Who was it? Crap. Oh, that I only the boys. There's the sister and the boy. I've forgotten what it's. Oh, you are an hour from the Conjuring House. Fear Factor, not Fear Factor. Project Fear. I don't watch them. I used to. I used to enjoy watching them. He seems like a nice kid, but they were in Virginia City. I saw an episode. They were in Virginia City, and they were going to the miners' cabin, the Gold Mine Hotel, Silver Queen Hotel, and I think the Washoe Club. I went, I've got to watch this. I ended up just not kind of listening. They weren't too bad with their history, except for when they went into room 11 and the bathtub one with the prostitute and Silver Queen that was supposed to have done herself away in the bathroom. I thought, so they didn't really know, but that's not their fault. If they're researching and going by what they're told rather than actually researching the property and seeing what they can come up with. But I was getting really sentimental because they're in room 11, and of course when I was there I was helping my friend Connie who works there. I was helping her do the rooms. That was I was a, what do you call it, a chamber maid? What do you call the girls that come around and make the, a maid, whatever, room service, that's what it was. So I'm looking and the boy's in room 11 and he turned the light on and I went, oh, that's that, because I remember having to fold the nice silk doona cover, the thing. I'm going, oh, that's that rug. And then I'd look up and go, oh, look where Connie's put this. I could see everything and I knew how everything was folded, and I was getting really sentimental. And I thought, I want to go back. I've cleaned those rooms. I know where the safety pin is on the ruffle that goes around the bed. So I was not listening to anything they were really saying. I was too busy looking for things. It was funny. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Right, you're near there. Was just up in Burville the other day. I was almost going to knock on the door of the Conjuring House, but they probably would have had me arrested. See, I do my own research. Tour guides get stuff wrong. Yeah, you have to. You have to. Actually doing a video about that now, and the power of suggestion. I was talking about that a couple of weeks ago. It's amazing what you can just by, what was I watching? There was something, an experiment done, and I think that's what I was talking about too in regard to the Mothman legend. You can take two groups of people through an old building, for example, and say, oh, this building used to belong to so-and-so and it's all historical and it's this and this and this. And people will go in and go, oh, wow, it's historical, and oh, look at that. And nothing will happen, right? But you take another group through and don't mention the history and just say, oh, it's said that this is a haunted house and someone was killed in this room and someone was killed in that room. And you're guaranteed that people, not all, but people will, oh, I saw a ghost, or, oh, something touched me, or, oh, yes, I can feel the bad mojo in that room, So, yeah, power of suggestion is huge. That's why, yeah. What was that? Karen, I think you fell for Virginia City like I feel. Oh, I love Virginia City, and I do get quite, I don't know what it is. I just love it. I love it there. Good. I'll look forward to watching that one. I'm glad that Angelina's been doing a fair bit of that sort of looking into the history of places and really looking into things. I wouldn't call, people say it's debunking. I don't know that it's debunking when you just, debunking to me is like, the chair moved. No, it didn't. Something or other pushed it. That's to me debunking. But when it comes to history, I suppose you're debunking or proving. I guess you are kind of proving that something that's being told isn't true. So I guess it's a form of debunking. But I like to think about it as more just getting the truth out there. Yes, See? Truth seeking. And the truth is so interesting. Like, that's the sad thing. It's really interesting. But there you go. Oh, where's Broadside? What did she say to you? What did Broadside say to you? I'm jealous. No.
Good, great information. Thanks, Enzo.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, and it is, and it's kind of funny. Like, even when I was watching that episode, as I said, the what are they called again? Project Fear. When I was watching that, when they speak at the beginning and they give a little bit of background on different things, I'm like, yeah, kinda. Like, some of it was, yeah, sort of. When they got to the Silver Queen, it was like, oh no. And I kind of think, if you go by what you're told, which I guess in some instances, if you're not going to do a deep, like if you're just not going to sit in front of your computer, bring up everything you can on the place and search for real stories and things, if you're not going to do that, then you are going to be kind of a lazy person and just go by what you're getting told by a property owner or whatever. But when you know the truth and you watch an episode where somebody is at one of these places and they're talking to whoever or feeling whatever, and you know that that never happened, it actually makes the investigator look like a dickhead. Like, you look like an idiot because you're going with the narrative as opposed to doing your own investigating. It is hard sometimes, I think, too, though, because I have been to places where I haven't had a chance to research it, and someone tells you something, so you go by what they've told you. Never saw anything, but there's reasons, but you can fix that. So when you do your episode and you're talking to Casper the ghost, you can turn around and go, oh, in this episode, because I was told such and such, so now I know the real truth of the matter. I wonder who that was, or I wonder what that might have been connected to. So you can clear it up. But let me see. You're going on with Laura. Interesting. Don't you girls get up to monkey business? What's that? Giselle, New England. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get back to America next year, but again, it all depends on work and saving money and all that sort of thing. But I would like to, and I was speaking to my friend Connie today, and I said, I think if I can, I'd like to get there after winter. So maybe Mayish, when the weather's just nice in May, I think. But we'll see how it goes. Or I said I could come for Easter, for the Easter bunny, because you'd make a fuss in America for Easter, wouldn't you, as well?
Probably.
I'd like,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I would like to see Walmart at Easter. Think of all the chocolate eggs.
There's a lot of chocolate.
Maybe
if you're cheap like me, it's the day after when it all goes on sale. That's when you go get the chocolate.
And what's Jody say? Some people prefer the creepy story to the truth. Oh, look, it is, Jody. I think that's what it is. So I've kind of given – it used to really, really annoy me, especially in regard to Virginia City. It used to really annoy me. And now I'm like, yeah, you know what? Just let them tell their BS if they don't want to find out the truth, whatever. But I think it all started for me with the Sally house and how I felt about that. And then I would get really cranky. I'd think, because in researching that family, I kind of got really, I can't explain really. I just really fell in love with the family and their history. And so I felt, I'm glad they're not my family, because I would be buying that house and I'd turn it into maybe a B&B, but I maybe not. I think I'd just buy that house and let some little old lady live in it for nothing. Because I'm like, if that was my family. So I'm amazed that sometimes some of these people's families, when stories are told about them, don't sue, like for defamation or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of the stories are horrendous. But anyway, I just get funny about it. And some places do, Dee. I know that with what Joe's doing at the moment, for example, with the whatever it's called, the Haunted Hill House or something, they did have to sign something, but I can't remember what it was now. Something about the history. They weren't allowed to discuss the history. They weren't allowed to research or something. I'm like, how do you stop people from researching? Like, why would you want to do that? I know why they would want to do that now, but just really weird. We got to schedule a date. I would love to have you on my car. I believe. Oh, did you? Oh, all right. I'll inbox you back. Yeah, I'll come on and say g'day. We'll have a bit of a whinge about everything. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, I want to get back to Virginia City. And I promised Enzo that I'll show him the mines. He can come there. He can come to Virginia City and we'll take him. Yeah, no worries, Angelina. And we'll take Enzo.
Actually, I found something extra if you go to Atchison that you may be interested in. If you pull up my share that I have down below.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I didn't even look.
This was a last second edition that I didn't get in before showtime that I looked up in.
Oh, Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart's
there are
house.
researchers that have done extensive research in the South Pacific, and they believe they have found the wreck of Amelia Earhart's aircraft.
Where?
And as it turns out, this is the submersible that they use to go do the side scanning radar or sonar stuff.
That's the one they use for the Titanic, isn't it? To go down to look at the Titanic.
Yeah. And if you notice down here at the bottom, the Amelia Earhart Museum is in Atchison, Kansas.
I actually put that in one of my episodes. I mentioned I mentioned in my Sally House, one of my Sally House things. It's right down the road. It's literally the Sally House is up the road.
You can do
a couple of blocks
McIntyre, Sally, and the Amelia Earhart. But they did a full presentation from the museum there in Atchison about this. They're going to come out later this year with a full documentary of their search and all that, where they're highly convinced that that is her aircraft.
Will there be some kind of the usual thing? If it's down really deep, I guess they might be able to pull it up. But will there be anything identifying everything on it?
I don't think they would pull it up. They would. They're probably, after all of this time, I feel it would be pretty fragile to pull up, and they were very secretive about exactly where it was, just so people don't go in and start ripping chunks of it off and trying to sell pieces of it on eBay, because that's the world we live in.
Well, like my where's my like my little piece of the Titanic.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Oh, my little piece.
There were many billionaires that may have died for that, so that's kind of okay apparently. But that was just a little aside, just something else that happened this past week that I wanted to throw in for a little bonus feature on my segment. That Kansas's own Amelia Earhart, they may have found her aircraft.
Thank you for being a member for 6 months, Julia. It's amazing that it's been about 6 months since I got monetized. It's not bad, you know. The YouTube thingy, like the monetization thing, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's only a couple of cents. So, but you know, if you get ads and stuff, but every now and then they throw you $20. So $20 is $20, isn't it? What's that? I hope they find. Yeah, it would be nice to put her to rest, wouldn't it? Her bones wouldn't still be there; they'd be long gone. One would assume.
They found like a lot of circumstantial stuff from a nearby island from where the crash site is. From where those folks is, like a section of a leather boot and a little bit of this and that. But there's this whole underlying mystery about Amelia Earhart all the way around, that she was secretly spying on the Japanese, and the Japanese caught. This is all pre-World War II. She was spying for the U.S. government by going in all these areas, and they caught her, and she supposedly was in a POW camp, and all there's a lot going on with the Amelia Earhart story, but for sure, they're very
definitely.
convinced that they have found her aircraft out there in the ocean. So
That would be good to finally put her to rest.
yes.
Like at least to find it and go, yeah, that's where it happened. Look, when you hear the story about what was going on, and that's obviously they've come down in the water, and it's I hope they went quick. They would have. It would have been like hitting concrete, wouldn't it? Mm.
It, well, yeah. It totally depends because you can certainly flare out for any aircraft and kind of splash down on a surface of water. That if you can't hit the land and you're going to hit the water, there's certainly a way to do it.
Oh
And
no,
Amelia
that means
Earhart was
floating in it until it went down. Oh, let's just assume that she went quickly. Otherwise, the poor things, they might have been sitting on the wreckage floating and then it sunk and then
oh
that's
no
even
for
sadder.
especially back in those days, it's not floating for long. It is not. But it's certainly one of those things that it's one of those mysteries out there for especially for anyone that because me as I guess now I have to consider myself a Kansan. I've lived here for so long that that's like a little chunk of our history, kind of a
Mm.
thing. Living
Yeah,
in
when I was putting the thing together for the Sally House, my episode for the Sally House, because I had to do it, I wanted to do a map to explain to people just how close the hospital was to the Sally House, and the hospital was there at the time that these stories about a little girl dying. Like, I wanted to demonstrate that one wouldn't. Why would you run to the doctor's house when the hospital was just there? Um, so, and when I was looking at the map, I saw Amelia Earhart, and I went, oh, and so I looked it up, and I went on a web page, and they showed different rooms and stuff. So I mentioned that in there, and if you want to go and see Amelia Earhart's where she was born, it shows a picture of the house. So yeah, I'd like to see that museum. It's amazing that it's there, that they've kept it. It's pretty cool. What's the Malaysia? Yeah, that is still look. It crashed in the ocean, probably.
Yeah, that's a
Like
tough one,
it is.
especially like in the Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, whichever side want to say. That's a vast place. It's tough to say. They just found Amelia Earhart's aircraft, from the early 40s, late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough when stuff goes down in the ocean, especially out in the Pacific and Indian Ocean because it's so less explored than everything
Oh, look,
else.
especially and Giselle. Yeah, Joe. I've been. So, Mum, what? Uh, I walked inside, pooped outside your door, then left. Oh, wonderful! Bloody hell! I tell you what, people. Well, it's a good thing it's a good thing I'm going in a minute. Thank you for the warning, though, because I probably would have opened my door and stepped right in it. Bloody chicken. There's the one chicken. Remember the chicken I told if anybody I had the chicken that was unwell one day. So I brought her in and I sat her on my knee and just watched TV and patted her all day long until she felt a bit better. It's her. She comes in all the time. It's her. She comes in and she finds me and it's quite cute. But I was going to say I've been helping Joe, as has a few other people, with some research for that house, the Hill House, the haunted Hill House, or something in Mineral Wells. Very interesting. Interesting. So he's going to put out a really good episode about that and throw all the information to everybody. But yeah. Hi, Kat. Yes, don't forget to hit that like button. Let's have a look. Oh, are you talking about? Well, it's amazing what things can survive and for how long under the water. It just depends, I suppose. Maybe it depends on the temperature. Like with the Titanic, it's obviously very, very cold there, so freezing type temperatures. Whereas maybe if it was somewhere in a warmer climate, things would just break down really quick. That's okay, Kat. I'm heading off in 6 minutes. I've got things to do today. I've got to go to the shops. I've got to message Angelina from Bad to the Bone and look at starting something. So Tanya suggested the Slender Man urban legend. Where did that come from? So I'll look into that. I hope it's not as boring as the Black-Eyed People or Black-Eyed Children. But at least the Black-Eyed Children led me to the story of the little girls that were murdered in that park, in that place. So, you know, I hope I honoured their little memory. So who knows? Maybe that's what people see there. I'd hope not, though. I'd hope that the souls of those little girls, the energy of those little girls is gone. You're allowed to be quiet, Betty. You're allowed to be quiet, okay? I'm happy that you're here listening to us talk about stuff. So what do you reckon we're going to concentrate on this week scientifically, Enzo, the science guy? What should we be looking out for this week? Anything, just the meteor showers?
Well, that's a big thing. I mean, we certainly saw, when you got a basketball size chunk coming through over New York City in the middle of the day and people are noticing it, maybe a few other chunks.
Oh, Dee, my daughters went to see that last night. So that's the one with Nicolas Cage in it. I said to my daughter, so what's it about? And she goes, Mum, it was really confusing. And I said, oh. And she said, I think it's like voodoo-ish stuff or mind control. And I went, oh. So apparently Nicolas Cage is the bad guy, but he doesn't do anything naughty. That's all I know. But I don't really want to watch anything like that. Oh, there we go. It was confusing. So something about dolls and possession or who knows. There you go. I still don't really know what went on. There's a Nicolas Cage movie, though, Tanya, that I really like. And it was with, oh, Jesus. It's where he's like an alternate universe thing. I can't remember what it was called. He's a real rich guy. He's married. It's kind of like a Miracle on 34th Street story. He's married. He's got a lovely wife and whatever, and he doesn't have much money, and he dreams of buying fancy things. And then I can't remember what happens to him, but he wakes up and he's mega rich, and he doesn't have a wife or a kid. And I can't remember what it's called, but that was a really good movie. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called. Had a good ending. I think he went back to being poor. I can't remember. Let's see. I hope all is well with you and your fur babies, Cat. Oh, are your fur babies okay? Cat. I like Cat. Cat and her cats. Or are they dogs? Well, guys, I'll wind it up. It's been almost 2 hours and we've had some fun and we've talked about what's that guy doing to that girl's bra thing there in the back? What's going on there? Hands off. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking behind you. The girl, look, what's going on? Look, what's he doing to her bra? So there's the guy with the mustache talking to the girl in the bikini top, and then behind the girl in the bikini top is this dude who keeps putting his hands in her straps. I hope he doesn't undo them. Where are you, Enzo? Yeah, look. Oh, I guess it's her boyfriend. Yeah, so and Sunny Socks told me to wrap it up. Yes, I think that's it. Kat, thank you. The Family Man. I think that's it. That is actually a really a good one. Thank you, Angelina. I'll talk to you soon. I'll double check. You probably did inbox me. I'll double check. If not, I know how to get you. Oh, it'll be on the Instagram probably, will it? Oh, I'll have a look. I'll look. Tickle, yeah. Yes, there is an ice cream emergency happening at this house, Tanya. You are correct. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to get into the car, go to the shops and buy some ice cream. So there you go. Look, this has been fun, Enzo. Thank you. And thanks to everybody. It's been a good old chat today, I think. Everyone's had a bit of fun sharing some of their bad nightmares and dreams and stuff. But yeah, so I will work on. I'll try your storyline. I'll do the thing. Tanya, the Slender Man. See what I come up with, and if it's too boring, I might go down another rabbit hole. But I'm feeling a little bit more ready to get back into it now. I've been pretty flat for the last few weeks, and I think that's just because I haven't really been 100%. But I'm starting to feel better now, so I need to get enthusiastic again. Thanks Giselle, thanks Dee and everybody. It's been lovely to see you. Betty, you look after yourself, and if not before, you'll see us. Is it next Sunday you're not with me, Enzo? Is it next week? Or is it, oh no, it's August. It's August.
No, I think it's 2 weeks I will not be here.
Yeah, so at some point I'll have next time Enzo's not here, I'll get
be here next week, next Saturday I'll be here, and then the week 3rd of August I will not be here.
Okay. See you, Julie. Look after yourself, mate. And thank you, everybody. And I'll see you all, same bat time, same bat channel, next Saturday night / Sunday morning. Bye.